Welcome, everyone. You did the hardest thing, and that is showing up. Let me know where you are in the world in the chat, and also what the weather is like. I'm in Nairobi, and there's this very, very, very weird thing happening. There's all this liquid that's falling from the sky. I don't know what's going on. Of course, I'm joking. It is raining here. And it has not rained for a very long time, so we're very grateful for that. Felix, you're in Switzerland. What's the weather like there? Israel, Judith is in Israel. It's sunny there. Nice, Felix. It's sunny for Felix. Bon, it's cold, but promise of some sunshine. Nice, Marlon. Okay. Oh, and Tillman, you're in Nairobi as well. Anna's in Spain. It's sunny and cold. Early, yeah. So it's about what, 8 a.m. there? Maybe 7. Let's see. Oh, Shamin is coming in from Beirut. By the way, let me know. You can do this in a private message to me or in the group chat. If I'm pronouncing your name wrong, please let me know. Vera's coming to us from Paris, and it's almost spring. Oh, springtime in Paris. Oh, how archetypal. Hey, Alana. Vancouver, dark and delightful night after a gorgeous spring-like day. Oh, Vancouver's my hometown. Oh, Mary, Ruby with liquid falling. I know, right? We're so grateful. We've just, it's, as some of you may know, it's been very difficult in Kenya with drought. So we're very grateful to have this rain. And Esther, but we should be in bed, not working. I know, right? It's cold. It's cold. Okay, and Laura's coming in. Great. Okay, well, thank you so much for showing up, folks. I'm delighted that you're here. We are going to talk all about mindset today. And Laura just joined us. Welcome, Laura. And this book, in 35 years or so of being in learning and development, this book here, Mindset, has really, it's like easily one of my top 5 books I've ever read in my whole life. So I hope that you find some benefit and get some insight from this amazing book. Elizabeth and Laura are just joining us. Welcome. So my name is Leanne. Let me know in the chat, is this your first roundtable? Is this your second, third? Roughly. It's not a quiz, it's not a test. So if you can't remember, just make up a number. But do let me know in the chat how many roundtables have you been to roughly? And especially if this is your first time, again, my name is Leanne Reagan, and I tend to work in 3 areas. So I work with change-making clients, mostly non-clients, to do what I call working better together. So a lot of team building, conflict resolution, working on culture, communication, collaboration, all things that start with C, creativity, etc. And then I also do a lot of digital engagement work. So yesterday I was just working with UNEP for some a training on tech tools, easy peasy tech tools. And also then I work with subject matter experts who need to learn how to design and deliver trainings. So that's a little bit about me. Just looking, we have a lot of first timers here. Okay, and second for some. Okay, nice. Well, however many times you've been here, you're so welcome. I have a little bit of a sense of how challenging it is to carve out time for learning. So grateful that you're here. And also just a couple of gentle suggestions for making the most out of your time. So I'm just putting a link in the chat. And if future you is watching this, know that all of the links will be down below in the video. So folks asked for a LinkedIn roundtable group, so I did make one. So if you're on LinkedIn and that is of interest and you want to kind of keep in touch in between roundtables, feel free to join. And the first 10 people to join the request to join the roundtable today, I'm happy to give you a free access to my Ban Boring online meeting course. So feel free to do that. Also, If you are not already a member of the Roundtable, I'll say this more just before we break, but that's how you get access to all the resources. So anyone can come. You don't have to be a member to show up to the live roundtables. If you want the recordings, you do need to be a member. And also I cannot believe this, our 100th roundtable is coming up. So you'll have noticed in the prep work, I gave you a link. I'm coming up with a minimum of 100 life lessons. And I see that people are filling that in. So it's so great. And I can share that link again in a bit if you like. So I'd love to hear some of your life lessons. And then also if you have ideas for celebrating. So June is our 100th roundtable. So please feel free in the chat there, or you can email me if you wish, and let me know I want to try to plan like a fun celebration for our 100th roundtable. So let me know if you have some ideas for celebrating. I'd love to hear those. Okay, so make sure that you participate. There's so much wisdom in the group, so please feel free to ask questions, offer ideas, suggestions, share your own learning, etc. That's welcome anytime. And then if you do, pardon me, want to get access to the resources, make sure that you become a member there if you're not already. And then also, this is the second time I'm doing, folks are sort of split about the length of the roundtable. So this is our second one that's an hour and a half instead of 2 hours. So I will be polling you at the end of the workshop today and ask you, what do you think about the roundtable being an hour and a half? Also, every month I ask for your feedback. I'm here to serve you and make this as valuable as possible for you. So one way that I can do a better job is to get your feedback, the things that you like, and change up the things that aren't working as well. So every month I give you a link to a poll and ask for your feedback. And then as a way of thanking you for that feedback, I also I do a random draw each month for a winner, someone to win access to my Ban Boring online meeting course. So I'll let you know who that is at the end of today. And then also, just quickly, and I just really want to be transparent. In prehistoric times, meaning pre-COVID, we used to actually meet in person, and we would have folks come in online, and we would be in person at the UN. So for those who came in person, I asked if people were able to give a donation. So, and then once a year, we would vote on who would receive that money, some kind of education focused thing. So I actually have had, since just before COVID started, we've had some learning and development roundtable donations just kind of sitting there. So in full transparency, I did recently make a donation. There's some folks that are struggling in the Masai Mara, people I know really well who support these kids and their school fees. So some of those historic donations from the roundtable have gone to pay for school fees for these kids in the Mara. So you can pat yourself on the back for that. Okay. And then just again, really quickly, because I really want to get to our time together, the content. It's one thing to show up for these roundtables. It's a whole other chapter in the book to actually use what you learn. So I'm sure that you're very experienced at, how the tools that you use to learn and remember things. If you wish, you're free to download this link for this worksheet. Once you download it, it becomes editable. And you may wish to keep track of things as a result of our time together today, things that you want to do, things you want to continue doing, etc. So, and that's up to you if you want to use that or not. It's there for you as you wish. Okay, so before we dive into our roadmap today, I wanted to turn it over to you and let me know in the chat. I'd love to hear your, how would you fill in these blanks? So there are two kinds of people, those who are blank and those who are blank. So let me know, how would you fill in that sentence there? Oh, you're welcome, Niti. Yeah, for the sheet. Yeah, there's 3 different ones that I've designed, and I rotate them each roundtable. So there's 3 or 4 tools I use for this. You're welcome. And you can use it for other things. It's reusable. So what do you think? There's 2 kinds of people. Those are blank and those who are blank. So what do you think? So Judith is saying those who are self-centered, and those who look, maybe also who look inward, and those who are outward looking. Excellent. Okay, what else? What do you think? Those who are introverted, those who are extroverted. Mary's saying those who are givers and those who are takers. Yeah. Those who are born in the global north, those who are born in the global south. And it could be anything, right? Those who are tall, those who are short. What do you think? Any others? Let's get a couple of other ones. Beyond Degler saying those who are growth oriented or not. Oh, that's a great one. It's very relevant to our topic today. Thank you. Francisco saying those who are optimistic and those who are pessimistic. Laura, those who are self-aware and those who are self-unaware. Nice. Namrata saying those who are focused on the goal and those who care about getting to the goal. Nice. So I would call that process oriented and outcome oriented, or in the language of my Life Lenses tool, those who are journey and destination. Okay, Samson saying those who are open-minded and those who are closed-minded. Hi, Solen. It's so nice to have you here. Welcome. I'm so delighted that you're here. We're just talking about 2 different kinds of people. Vera is saying those who are dreamers and those who are actors. Nice. Nisha is those who are fighters and those who are going with the flow. Ooh, nice. Alana, those who are linear and those who are abstract. And Albert, kind of similar. Oh, hi, Albert. Nice to have you here too. Dream chasers and dream shooters. Oh, how eloquent. That's like poetic. Jacqueline, those who are prioritizers and procrastinators. Oh, this is a poetic bunch. You guys are great. Okay, so I want you to kind of think about that, because we're going to come back to those things. And actually so after every roundtable, I create a workbook for the members that has the audio recording, the visual, the video recording, and I'll put this text in there too, because these are really some lovely ideas here. Okay, so are you ready to dive into your mindset, finding more about your mindset? Can I get a thumbs up? Oh, Alana saying those who are binary and non-binary. Nice, nice. Okay, are you ready to dive into mindset? Give me a thumbs up. Okay, great. Got a couple of thumbs up there. Great. Okay, so this is our roadmap today. So every month in that feedback survey, I ask you what you would like to see in the next month's roundtable topic. So thank you for those who filled that in. And some of the feedback that I got that people wanted for this topic is how to change your mindset. We're going to talk about that a lot. How to look at problems with a positive and optimistic mindset. We're going to deal with that. And then someone talked about unconscious bias. So that's a whole topic on its own. Actually, I've been doing a lot of research in that. So I won't address that specifically in this topic today, but I will put some really interesting resources. Well, I think they're really interesting. Hopefully you will. I'll put them in the workbook for you there. So thanks for those who gave that feedback. Again, that's that monthly survey. If you fill it in, you get a chance to win access to my Ban Boring online meeting course. And I'll give you the link at the end of today. So today we're going to look at what exactly does mindset mean, and what does it mean to have a fixed mindset? What does it mean to have a growth mindset? And then we're going to talk about the implications of your mindset and how it affects everything. It's shocking. It's absolutely shocking how much your mindset affects things like how you deal with failure, how you view effort. It affects how you deal with mental health issues, a whole bunch of different things. And then we'll look at identifying the kind of mindset that you currently have, some steps for getting a growth mindset, and then how to maintain a growth mindset. And then if you are a UN staff, of course, anyone is welcome here. But if you are a UN staff and you would like this to count towards your mandated training, you can do that if you fill in the attendance sheet. And I'll give that link to you at the end of today. Okay, so what do you think mindset is? When you why did you sign up? What are your thoughts on what is mindset? Because I know when I was designing this workshop, I was very excited to design it. This is brand new workshop. You are the first ones to have this workshop. And I was a little bit worried because I thought, oh, it could sound maybe a little bit flaky, like all you have to do is just put on a big smile and everything's going to be great. So it's not that. But what do you think it is? And again, this comes from Carol Dweck's research, this book is so good. So when you think of mindset, what does that mean to you? Pardon me. Okay, so Vladimir is saying, set of beliefs that shape how you make sense of the world and yourself. Yes, Samson, mindset is how you look at yourself and the world. Needy, a bundle, I like that, a bundle of perspectives. Where did you go here? That are manifested in our daily functions and interaction. Judith, your approach to interacting with the world. Yes. Shameen, change is healthy. Yeah, it definitely affects your attitude towards change. Absolutely. A mindset is just having conscious thoughts being directly proportional to your actions. Oh, actually, a lot of I love that you put that. A lot of our mindset is actually unconscious. That's what we want to do today, is make those thoughts conscious. Vera, some sort of frame of mind and habits. Yes. Laura, a way of believing. Yes. Marian, your attitude to what's happening around you. Natalie, your default way to reacting. Yes. I've got a direct message here from someone. If you DM me, I won't say your name if you want to share something privately. So someone said attitude to different things. Definitely. Attitude is a huge part of mindset. Alana, tendencies, ways of processing and thinking, conscious and unconscious. And then Namrata, patterns of thought and action. Mary, the spectacles you wear to see your world. Oh, that's so good. Yes, exactly. And Bathsheba, a framework of thought system. Solen, mindset is constituted of what we want to do, how we see the world, and influenced by the environment in which we live. Yeah. Solen, you've brought up, we could talk about this for a very long time, but there's actually a lot of emerging research that our mindset, instead of our environment influencing our mindset, it's our mindset influences the environment, how we see the environment, what we pick up and what flies under our radar. Fascinating stuff. That's some of the stuff I'll put in the workbook, some of those resources there. Okay. So here it is. So mindset, it's the beliefs that we may be unaware of, but strongly affect what we want, and not just affect what we want and desire, but whether we succeed in getting it. It's actually pretty much what we tend to think of as our personality. So our personality grows out of our mindset, and it permeates every single part of our life. It affects how we cope with failure, setbacks, how we cope with relationships, with mental health issues, including depression. I'll talk a little bit more about that. And it's the view you adopt for yourself that profoundly affects the way you lead your life. And again, this is Carol Dweck's book, her marvelous book, Mindset. By the way, if I sound like I'm making a pitch, I don't get any money if you get this book or whatever. I just think it's amazing. So there's two types of mindset. Anyone know the two categories that we put mindset into? What are the two kinds of mindsets? I'm curious if people have heard of this before. And also let me know in the chat, has anyone read her book? Yes, Bathsheba. Yeah, it's fixed mindset and growth mindset. Alana, you've read it. Great. Yeah, so needy, yeah, it's kind of, I guess, progressive and regressive. Yeah, the technical terms that she uses are growth mindset and fixed mindset. So what do we mean by that? If you have a growth mindset, you see when you have challenges, when there's a setback, when there's an obstacle in your path, you see failure, you see those challenges as an opportunity to grow. You also tend to see intelligence as not fixed. So you can learn, you can grow, you can develop. It's not set, right? You can change those things. When you do face challenges, you don't let those define you. I'm horrible, terrible, no good, very bad. You see them as an opportunity to grow, to develop. You see that your effort and your attitude determine your abilities. So you don't come into the world with a set attitude, with a set intelligence, with set abilities. You can learn and develop and grow those things. These are all under the umbrella of growth mindset. And when you see other people succeeding, right, even and especially when it's in a field that you're related to, and maybe you're struggling in your field, you celebrate the success of other people, right? You get inspired by their success, and you tend to like to try new things, right? So that's our growth mindset. Our fixed mindset. So people who tend to have a fixed mindset, when you run into a roadblock, when you fail at something, you tend to think, oh, that's fixed. I can't really do a lot about that because my intelligence, my talents, my abilities, those are set. I'm really not in control of those. You tend to either be good at something or not. And that's not changeable. So you might say things like, oh, I suck at math, or, I'm a terrible dancer, or I can't draw to save my life. Like those abilities, those talents, they're set. You see them as set, and they're not very changeable. People with a fixed mindset don't really like to be challenged. Either do something or not do something. There's not really a whole lot of room kind of in between. And everything is pretty much like your abilities, your talent, your potential. It's pretty much predetermined. Hi, Mary. Thanks for joining us. And when you hit a roadblock, when you run into some challenges, you tend to get frustrated and give up, right? Because why would you keep trying? Because those abilities are pretty much set. And when people give you feedback and criticism, like constructive criticism, you take that very personally, right? And can get defensive. I say you, I'm using just a general you. And people with a fixed mindset tend to stick to the things that they know, right? They tend to stick to the things that they're good at. So I put those two things together, and these are our fixed and our growth mindset. Now, I was playing with you a little bit. Oh, we've got some comments here. Marika's saying, I don't see it as binary or one or the other. You can have fixed mindset on certain issues and progressive on others. Yes. I'm so glad you brought that up. I was, you're ahead of the class. Absolutely. So I was kind of playing with us a little bit, because if you remember at the beginning, let me just go back to that slide. When I was asking you about two kinds of people, those who are this way and those who are that way, that's a very simplistic view of the world, right? That we nicely fit into two slots, and we can't move from one group to another, or that there's not a group in between. So as you beautifully brought up, Marika, and again, let me know if I'm mispronouncing your name. Human beings are super complicated, right? That's why working with humans is so interesting, because it's so complicated. So yeah, you can think in your in your own life right now, and if you want to share, please feel free. There might be areas there probably are areas in your life where you tend to have a fixed mindset, and there's probably areas in your life where you tend to have a growth mindset. So if I say, well, let me give you a couple of topics. So dancing. Do you tend to have a growth mindset or a fixed mindset? Let me know in the chat. So do you tend to think, I suck at dancing, or I'm a great, like it's very binary? Or do you think, if I wanted to be a fabulous dancer, I could be, or I already am a fabulous dancer? So Patrick is growth. Okay. And while others are thinking about that, growth. Tillman's saying very fixed mindset according to the okay. Oh, we're going to get to that. Yeah. So I did give folks a survey. Albert saying fixed. I definitely suck at it. So that's a classic. That's a beautiful example of a fixed mindset. So the word definitely and the word suck. So there's no opportunity to change there, right? There's no, when we look at that sentiment, it's like, it's fixed. I can't change it. Alana's saying, that's great. Fixed joints, growth, and spirit. I like that. I also wanted to get back to Judith's comment. I get caught on the word intelligence. I think of intelligence from an IQ perspective, one's overall capacity, whereas one's capability and competence can expand and grow. Oh, so Judith, great comment. There's an interesting section in the book. So I didn't make a note in this, so I'm doing this from recall. So please grant me a growth mindset. I may not get this 100% accurate on this, but there's a fascinating section in the book on intelligence and how we have misrepresented it. So the person, Binet, does anyone know his first name? The man who, Binet, he invented the intelligence test. Apparently, his whole reason for doing that was to help identify children in the school system, kind of where they were at, with the entire intention of helping them grow and develop. So he designed that with a very much growth mindset, but we've really kind of categorized that in a fixed mindset way. Okay, let me just catch up to the messages here. Marlon saying, I fluctuate between the two. Okay. Nicola, I don't care about how people perceive my dancing. I enjoy it. Oh, I am with you. In Nairobi, I have a WhatsApp group called the Dancing Queens. And yeah, dancing is medicine for me. Yeah, it's just, I love it so much. Fidelia, I have a fixed mindset with dancing. Okay. And Natalie, I think I have a mixed mindset. I enjoy new things and believe everything is possible and know I can learn anything. However, I struggle with a few things. Negative feedback, it's difficult to take. My default is to be defensive. Wow. Talk about self-aware. That's fantastic. And towards the end, Natalie, there's some very specific suggestions that Carol, the author of the book, makes for how to identify when we're having a fixed mindset. For me, before I read this book, I thought, if you'd asked me, I'm like, I'm in learning and development. Of course I have a growth mindset. No, not, I mean, in certain areas, I absolutely do. In terms of trying new learning activities, designing learning, like, I think I'm off the chart with growth mindset. But I can get hyper self-critical. If I fail at something, I feel embarrassed. I feel, I can really berate myself. So for me, the book was really revolutionary, really, really interesting. And it's on my mind a lot, like because that's part of the thing we'll get to at the end of the workshop today, is identifying, oh, okay, I've got a growth mindset right now. Oh, okay, right now it's a fixed mindset. So thank you for sharing that, Natalie. Super helpful. Okay, I want to share this scenario with you. Now, this is myself and my husband in 1995. We've been married a long time. He did not stand me up on our wedding day, but I would like you to imagine. Now, people have all sorts of different beliefs around weddings, so just pretend that, that you're not married and that you do want to marry someone. It's your wedding day. And the person that your beloved, the person that you're have agreed to spend the rest of your life with, has stood you up on your wedding day, So let me know on this Padlet here, because I'm going to share a link. So I'm going to stop the share and I'm going to open Padlet. So Padlet is a very simple online collaboration tool. And I'll just share that screen in just a second here. So let me go share the screen. So you should let me know. Can you see this? Can you see this sort of cherry blossom thing on your screen? Let me know. Okay, great. So in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a plus sign. So just click that plus sign. And this is not a test. You can't get it right or wrong, but just click that plus sign and imagine that it's your wedding day and your beloved, the person that you're about to marry, has not shown up. So how would you react? How would you react to that? So I'm going to give, I'll give an example here. Okay, so we've got accept and move on, horrible, awful, terrible, no good, very bad, and mad. Look for another one, great. Accept and move on, panic, probably very upset, short term. Oh, these are great. Okay, I'm going to put in 2 more cards. Yeah, so keep adding your reactions there. And these are anonymous. So okay, so I've done 2 columns here. So you can see the purple says fixed mindset and the green one says growth mindset. So feel free to take your example and move it under the column. So I'm gonna move these out. Oh, I guess we can't. Okay, so try to put your comment under the thing. Is it a fixed mindset or is it a growth mindset? So move it to the place that that you think. We've got, okay. Hi, Bangader, welcome. We're just doing an exercise. We're just pretending and it's regardless of your beliefs around getting married, but if you were about to get married and your beloved stood you up, didn't call, but just never showed up on your wedding day, how would you react? Okay, so I'm going to put this one over here. Okay, oh, they kind of move around. That's not easy to do this. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to go back to our deck here because this is actually mentioned in the book. So let me just bring you back here. So good job using the Padlet. I know for some people, let me know, is that, I'm reading Nicholas, find out where he is and flatten him. Yeah, definitely fixed mindset. Okay. Yeah, that would be horrendous, right? It would be like, yeah, I can't even imagine. So here are some examples from the book. So Carol, and if you recently joined, almost all of this information is from the book Mindset by Harvard psychology professor Carol Dweck, Ph.D., Dr. Dweck. So here is what happened in real life here. Okay, so fixed mindset. Welcome, Vanessa. We're just talking about, thank you for joining us. We're just talking about if you got stood up on your wedding day. So regardless of how you feel about the institution of marriage, just pretending that you got stood up on your wedding day, how would you feel? So a fixed mindset, this is a quote from the book. If I had to choose between me being happy and him being miserable, I would definitely want him to be miserable. Okay, so that's a fixed mindset. Growth mindset, and again, this is from the book. This woman, she changed into a little black dress. She went to the party and she danced solo to the song Gloria Gaynor's I Will Survive. Here we go. Oh, could you hear that? I realized I didn't necessarily click the sound. Can people hear the sound? Oh, good. Oh, good. Okay. Okay. So culturally, you may or may not know that song. But this woman, yeah, she went on. So a fixed mindset. This is some of the research that shows. Sorry, I'm just doing a quick time check here. Okay, so people with a fixed mindset tend to study less. This is one piece of research. Because why would you study? Because it's your intelligence is kind of set, right? Your abilities, like you can't really do too much. People with a growth mindset tend to study more. Fidelity, I'm worried, but try to find out what happened. Yeah, growth mindset. Yeah, maybe the person got in a car accident. Yeah, or something horrible happened. Okay, a fixed mindset. When things tend to go sideways, people with a fixed mindset tend to repair their self-esteem. Well, it wasn't my fault. Oh, well, this thing got in the way. Like they try to make themselves feel better. For a growth mindset, people focus on learning. Okay, so that thing went wrong. Oh, okay, I'm going to figure out why it went wrong. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to do better next time. Alana has shared a link there. If you want to let us know just recently what it is, or just describe it, Alana, that would be great. I don't want to go out of the PowerPoint deck to look, but I love that you shared that. Thank you. A fixed mindset, people tend to blame other people. Oh, wasn't my fault. Not my fault. I did everything. It was Alana's fault. It was Albert's fault. It was Anna's fault. Oh, no, I'm fine. Right. I'm kind of exaggerating a little bit, but you get the idea. Thanks, Alana. Alana shared the Nancy Sinatra, These Boots Are Made for Walking. Great song. Okay. Hi, Yasmin. Thanks for we're talking about the difference between fixed and with Shiva, oh man, I really dropped the ball on that one. I'm really overwhelmed. Can you help me? Do you have some time to work together? I know you're really great at PowerPoint presentations and I need some help on them. Could you give me a hand? And again, they focus on learning. This is really interesting around depression. So some clinical or some research shows now, very, very important to note, we're not, this research was not focused on severe depression. Okay, so that's really important to know. We're not talking about severe depression. But people with fixed mindset tend to have higher levels of depression and they let things go, right? They don't get help. They don't look for counseling, medication, get out of bed. Like my goal today is just get out of bed and get dressed. Right? They let those things go because with a fixed mindset, it's set. You can't really change things very much, right? It's fixed. People with a growth mindset, their reaction to depression, and again, I'm not talking severe depression. Please don't go away from here is telling someone, oh, all Leanne said is all you have to do when you're depressed is smile and things are going to be fine. That's not what I'm saying. This is for not severe depression. So the research showed that they work hard to overcome that depression. They take action, they reach out, they get help, they get counseling, they look at medication. They try really hard to, like I say, on a really bad day, just get out of bed, get dressed, get some food into my body, that kind of thing. I thought that was fascinating, right? Really fascinating. People with a fixed mindset, they measure themselves by their failure. Oh, I suck. I'm horrible. I'm awful. I'm just, people with a growth mindset, they measure themselves by their growth and their learning, right? By their growth and their learning. People with a fixed mindset, this is really interesting. They value success. So achievement, accomplishment, success. People with a growth mindset value the effort that goes into that. And I know these cultural references resonate with everyone, but for some people, you grown up with one or both of these children's books. One is The Little Engine That Could, and it's about this little train that just plodded along, kind of boring, but just plodded along and, really just put in a lot of effort and tried to get up this hill. And also the story of the tortoise and the hare. This one is more intercultural. There's a lot of children's stories that are similar in different cultures. The story of the tortoise and the hare is the one that is very kind of brash and bold, and I'm going to win this race, and I'm great, and I'm terrific. And the tortoise just goes very, very steady along, right? Really puts in a lot of effort and ends up winning the race. And while the book doesn't mention these two examples specifically, I thought they were really instrumental because our upbringing really influences our mindset. And when you were growing up, did your family, I'll just put this in the chat here. So when growing up, did your family prioritize growth and effort or success? So did your family, your parents, your caregivers, did they prioritize what letter grades did you get on your exams? What percentage did you get on your tests? What are your marks on your report card? Or did they value how hard did you work researching that paper? How much effort did you put into researching different sources and things like that? I'm just looking at the answers here. So getting A's, so outcome, getting A's. For Selene, it was both. That's great. Okay. Tillman says success. Bathsheba, most times it was success. Samson, it was both. Anna, growth and effort with an objective to succeed. So Anna, so what did succeed mean? So was success measured by growth, or was success measured by achieving an objective? Because that's a very big difference in growth and fixed mindset. Ida, it was success. Mary, growth and success. Albert, it was both. David, it was success. Mary, too much effort. Ilana, grandma, 10% talent, 90% effort. Ooh, like your grandma. She was ahead of her time. Jacqueline, it was success. Judith, if you didn't succeed, then your effort was misplaced. Oh, Judith. So that's a very strong example of a fixed mindset. Yeah. And what's interesting is when we have really strong, as I think you'll have seen, when we have these really strong fixed mindsets, people are pretty fragile. Like if you define yourself by success and then you fail, it means you're a failure, and you can become very brittle, not resilient, not have a lot of grit, etc. So it's ironic that way. Number of success, but without the pressure to achieve it. Bandular was both. Anna, achieving an objective. Fidelia was both. Francisco, grades. but when it was difficult, they organized a tutor. Okay, Laura, my mother has a fixed mindset and focused on not failing. My father had a growth mindset and was focused on effort and trying new things and celebrating all types of success and strong. Oh, interesting. You had the yin and the yang. Okay, and then Needy says achieving the objective. Okay, so fixed mindset there. Jessica, success was measured by the grades you got in school, so fixed mindset. Okay, so thank you for sharing all those. I know this is a little bit of a personal question. You can also think about your team. You know, if you work as part of a team, if you're in an organization, what does your work culture celebrate? What does it promote? What does it underline, underscore? Is it fixed or is it growth mindset? Okay, so I want to give you an opportunity. We're just about sliding into the break. We'll just have, we're together a short time. So we'll just have a 5-minute break. But before that, if you haven't already done this one, so basically when we come back from the break, we'll talk about the survey. So I gave that ahead of time. Oh, yeah, Alana, yay, Rupi. Yeah, if folks don't know Rupi's, do I have? Yeah, Rupi Kaur, her work is astounding. She's a poet and an artist. Yeah, really great stuff. Are you impressed? I had it right there. Hadn't even planned that. There you go. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you a little bit. Oh, I haven't seen her live. Oh, that would be amazing. Yeah. We're going to talk a little bit about the Roundtable membership. Then we're going to go into a break for 5 minutes. When we come back from the break, we'll talk about your survey results. So if you didn't get a chance to do this survey, and there's no judgment there, I trust that coming to these roundtables, doing the best they can. If you didn't get a chance, the link is there. Also, know that there will be I'll let you know who this month's winner is for the Banned Boring Online Meetings course. I'll share the feedback link so you can fill that in a bit later. There's a link there for the course if you want more information on that, and also the survey. And then finally, if you're not a member, I get these questions every month. Leanne, I didn't get the workbook, I didn't get the video, etc. So you do need to be a member to get that. So the link is here. You can also scan that QR code to become a member. There's that link. It's free to become a member, and then you get access to 10 plus years of Roundtable resources, and you get all the invitations sent to you. Our next one is April 27th, and it's all about feedback. Like, I read 2 of my all-time favorite books ever in my entire life in terms of professional development last year. So the feedback one, and then the other one is, the mindset one, and then the other one is thanks for the feedback. All Harvard people, I think. Okay, and then please share the link with other people and help us grow the Roundtable. I would invite you to do that if you found value here. Okay, so 5-minute break. When you come back, we're going to talk about your survey results. We're going to talk steps for getting a growth mindset and then how to maintain a growth mindset. Thanks, everyone. I'm so delighted you're here. We will see you again in 5 minutes. Welcome back from your break, or continued welcome for your future self who might be watching this on video. Had a couple questions. Sylvia, thank you for your kind words. Yeah, as long as you're a member, I put the link in the chat, or you can scan this code. You get the workbook, the audio recording, the visual recording. Oh, I'm going to put the chat in this time too. I put everything in a workbook, so that will all come to you. But yeah, you do need to be a member for that. Where are my notes? Oh, okay. Also, I had an excellent question, a DM from someone, so I won't share their name. This person said, why do most people lose their growth mindset with age? The older people get, the more fixed the mindset becomes. Is that also physical brain process? So I think we could probably spend a whole session on that. I'd love to know in the chat what people think about that. I think, sorry, Sylvia, I think you're saying I have done it, I think is what you mean, the membership link? Okay, you're welcome. So this is from my experience. I'm not quoting any research here, but I would say age, it can go both ways, right? So younger people feeling that, these older people have messed up the world with climate change and racism and and that they have the answers for everything. So I think it probably goes both ways. Certainly, neurons that the saying, neurons that fire together wire together. So certainly, I think anyone at any age can really get stuck in a rut. And this whole concept of neuroplasticity, we used to think that between the ages of 0 and 5, that was the only time where the brain was exploding in growth. And then we realized that actually in teenagehood, there's another massive explosion in brain development. And now we know, because of neuroplasticity, that actually you can change those neural networks through learning. So yeah. Alana's talking about neuroplasticity. Yeah. Francisco's saying, yeah, that could be a stereotype. Yeah, I think any age, right? You can be very flexible, growth mindset focused, or you can be very rigid and inflexible. Marlon's saying, they say as we grow older, we have crystallized intelligence. Yeah, for some people, for sure. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your survey. So I know some of you just came in. And by the way, this is brand new. I mentioned at the outset that this is a brand new workshop, so you're the first people taking it. And I gave you that link in the agenda to take, and you can, share it with other people, take it again. You may want to take it every, 6 months and see if you can increase your growth mindset. So the scores there are 0 to 6, or 25% is you've self-assessed as having a very fixed mindset. Scores 7 to 12 or 50%, you've self-assessed as having a fixed mindset. Scores 13 to 18 or 75%, you've self-assessed as having a growth mindset. And scores of 19 to 24 or 100 up to 100%, you've self-assessed as having a very growth mindset. So let me know. I'd love to spend just a couple minutes chatting about this. Comments, questions about your growth or fixed mindset. What do you think of your results? Were you surprised? What did you learn taking that survey, etc.? So, and if you want to, you can put your comments in the chat. You're also welcome to unmute and say a comment as well. There's 24 questions. Some of you may not have had time to take it yet, and it's there anytime you wish. But I'd love to know, was anyone surprised by your rating? I know I was. I thought I was way more growth mindset before I started reading this book. So lots of work for me to do. Okay, Anna's saying, I thought I had a more fixed mindset than my score. So it was the flipped for you, 78%. Great. But I think I have days, my mindset is more fixed than others. Yeah, absolutely. And remember that no human being is 100% fixed or 100%, right? Depends. Remember, we talked about dancing mindset, right? You can be fixed in one area and growth in another. So that's very self-aware, Anna. Thank you for sharing. Sylvie's saying, I missed a part because I haven't made any surveys. I would like to. Okay, so the link is above there. And yeah, you can take that anytime you wish. Take it with your family if you want. Take it for weeks and see what happens there. Tillman said, not really surprised. Okay, so you know that. Good for you, Tillman. You know that. And know that your passport country, your family, your work culture, all of those things can have a influence on your mindset. they might be trying to steer you to more fixed mindset than growth mindset. And certainly in some of the dominant cultures, in the unhealthy dominant culture, it's like work 24/7, get ahead, get lots of money, buy big fancy cars. That's all kind of fixed. It's not focused on growth and learning and such. And it leads to and burnout and stuff. So the link is right here, Sylvia. And if future self is watching this, the links for the survey will be down below in the video there. Tillman, you're welcome. I love that you shared that. So you sharing that score is an example of growth mindset, right? If you were really, really fixed mindset, you'd be like, oh, I'm not, like, she got a higher score than me. I am not sharing. So that by the very act of you sharing, that's a growth mindset. Okay, so then it's saying, I have undergone quite a lot in the past 2 years, done a lot of work on myself. So when I filled the survey up, I felt that my responses would have been really different 2 years ago. Oh, so you may want to, I love that. So you may want to take screen grabs. And as I mentioned, like take the survey every 6 months or so and see, is it changing, right? Because these things are, the research tells us that they're absolutely influenceable, changeable. Okay, Namrata, I didn't and don't feel like neatly into one step of mindset. And I think my score, 62%, reflected that. One question I have is on the relationship between being adaptive, and having a growth mindset. I think the growth mindset characteristics that I have, I could think of them as those that are a result of being adapting. Yeah, so people that have a growth, let me know if I'm addressing this, Namrata. People that have a growth mindset tend to be more flexible and open. They focus on the process. They focus on learning. Interestingly, another piece of research I'll share with you about this. So if you, let's just imagine you're back in high school or whatever you call it in your passport country culture, and you took a test. And you didn't do very well on this test, right? You did not do well on this test. You have an opportunity to see other people's test scores and the answers to those test questions. Would you tend to look at the people who did poorer than you? Would you look at their answers, their tests, or would you tend to look at the people who did better than you? So let me know if you feel like sharing in the chat. Would you tend to look at the people that did poorer than you or better than you? And I'll explain why I'm asking that question in a moment. So test, let me know in the chat. And while you're doing that, I'm going to go back to other comments here. Alana saying, I was surprised. I thought I had more fixed, but scored more growth. Whew. It was also an opportunity to see that my mindset has shifted significantly over the last few years. Nice. I happen to know Alana has been through a journey in the last few years. That's good to hear, Alana. A fixed mindset, given what you've gone through, people could go the other way too, right? And become way more fixed mindset. Fidelia, I had 83.3 and it means I have a growth mindset. Nice, nice. Sylvia, I think people are more human and humble. Oh, yeah. So they definitely don't focus on bolstering their self-esteem and trying to pass off blame. Yeah, for sure. Yes, and they're not ashamed of failure. Exactly, Sylvia. Georgette saying, professionally, I'm a growth mindset. However, I'm more fixed mindset in my personal life. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, so you might want to, and you may be happy with that. That might work for you. And if you want to also become more growth mindset in your personal life, you may want to explore that. There is a DM here. So a person is talking about having space, valuable to allow space for how neurodivergent, injury, trauma impact the understanding of some of the characteristics of each of the fixed growth mindset paradigm. For example, how defensiveness, urgency, and relationship to change show up. Thank you for sharing that, oh wise person who sent that DM. If you have specific resources, I don't mean to put this on you. This is an invitation which you are completely free to decline. If you have resources to that, feel free to share them with me, and I'd be happy to put them in the workbook. That's a great comment there. And Rad is saying, when I took the survey for this particular question, I looked at those who have a lower score than me. Okay. And Noreen's saying, I would look at the people who did better, because we've got one of each there. Anna would look at better. Laura says, look at better. And I would try to work out what they're doing that I could emulate and learn from in order to do better next time. And Esther's saying, I think I'm in a transition period from fixed and trying to be more growth. Ooh, being fixed has created a lot of anxiety. Yeah. Being ashamed and that kind of rigid. Yeah, it's not very healthy. And Jessica's saying, generally, I focus on my own score and the target I've set for myself and how to get there or keep on improving. Okay, so that's growth. So for those of you, this example is from the book there. For those people that want to look at people's test scores that did poorer than them, that's generally an example of which mindset do you think? If you've done a test and you want to look at the people that got scores lower than you, is that growth or fixed mindset? What do you think? Is that growth or fixed mindset? If I'm looking at people's scores that did better than me on the test. Any guesses? You've got a 50% chance of getting it right. Yeah, Georgette, fixed. Yeah, fixed. So you're trying to bolster your self-esteem. You're trying to make yourself better. Wow, Laura got, worse than me, and George, I'm just making this up, of course. Georgette got worse than me, so I must not be doing too bad, because you're not focused on the learning part of it. You're just trying to make yourself feel better because you don't like failure. You don't, you can feel defined by that failure. So for those people who looked at scores of people that did better than them, that's a growth mindset because you're focused on learning, developing, growing, etc. Right? The fixed mindset folks think, there's not really much I can do to change this. This is who I am. My abilities, my talents are set. So that feels really, not very good when I fail because I can't really do much about it because I believe they're fixed, versus the people who look at test scores that people did better and it's like, oh, that's an opportunity to learn and to grow. Yeah. Okay. Can I have your permission? We have three more things to do. One is looking at 4 steps for how to continue to grow, pun intended, a growth mindset, and then how to maintain a growth mindset and then close. Does this feel like a good time to move on? Can I get a thumbs up if we can move on to the 4 steps for getting a growth mindset? Okay, great. Okay, so it's not really that hard. When I was reading this, I'm like, oh, this is fun, actually. So again, this comes from Carol Dweck's, Dr. Carol Dweck's work. So the first step, and I'm just, so Vera's saying, I got 75%, looks like I'm more growth rather than fixed. And I believe it's coming from taking an opposite direction. My family, who's always focused on success, which I don't see wrong as well, but has been quite a traumatic experience for me as a child. Oh, Vera, high five to you. That's a lot of learning packed into that sentence there. Okay, I'm sure you have lots of stories about that. And self-awareness, high level of self-awareness there. Okay, so if you want to increase and grow and develop your growth mindset, the first step that Carol says is to actually embrace your fixed mindset. And that's not a typo. So it's really, I love this because this isn't, it's the bar is pretty low for this, right? So to accept that we all have a fixed mindset. There's no human being that's 100% growth mindset all the time. And she says, welcome to the human race, right? So to not beat ourselves up about it, to not feel bad about it, it's normal, natural, and right. And to accept that some fixed mindset dwells within. We do not have to accept how often it shows up. Oh, sorry, there's a typo there. But just to look at how much havoc it can wreak when it does. Sorry, folks, let me just fix that now. So basically, we may not be able to control how often it shows up, but we can control what we do with it when that fixed mindset shows up. Okay. Number 2 is become aware of your triggers. I love this. Again, this is not brain surgery. So embrace, accept that you have a fixed mindset. Some of us have it a lot. Some of it have it just time to time, but however, embrace that you have it. Number 2, then become aware of what triggers that fixed mindset. So these are, Georgette, I hope your doctor's appointment goes well. Thank you. Have a great day. And thank you for showing up. So for some of us, that could be a fixed mindset could be triggered if you hit a dead end. So you're trying something and there's a block, there's an obstacle, there's something that's not working. And that like, oh, I'm such a failure, blah, 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 that could trigger it. For some of us, it might be triggered when we are in front of a big new challenge. There's something, we haven't done before. It feels big. It feels challenging. And for some of us, that can trigger it. For some of us, it can be triggered by failure. I will never forget in 4th year undergrad, I barely passed a final exam paper. And I still remember like the feelings of shame, like deep shame. I can feel my body. It's like, so some of you may relate to that if it gets triggered by failure. For some of us, it might be triggered by if you're encountering someone who's better than you in your field, right? And maybe you're jealous of them, and or you make, they had it easy. They were, you're trying to make yourself feel better. So let me know in the chat if you are able to. Hi, Selma, welcome. We're just nearing the end of our time together here, and we're talking about 4 steps for getting a growth mindset. The second one being triggers. So those are a couple of examples of triggers. Can anyone, and I know this is a personal question, so don't feel that you have to answer this, or you can answer it, you can DM me, and I won't say your name. What do you think triggers your fixed mindset? Do you know? And some of you may not know yet. You need to kind of think about that. But do you know? Feeling judged. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's a great example. Ego. Yeah. Maybe if you're like feeling like you're not as good as someone else, or, you haven't gotten enough recognition that you feel you deserve, maybe that can trigger it. A feeling of injustice. Oh, same. That's interesting. Say a little bit more about that, Salman, if you wish. My KPIs, my key performance indicators. Okay. Laura, feeling that choice, freedom are being taken away from me. Ooh, yeah. Thank you, Laura. For me, I just realized another trigger is when I'm feeling overwhelmed. Oh, that's a trigger. Definitely a trigger. When I feel like I just can't do enough. I'm working so hard and I just can't keep it. I just can't. Yeah, that's a trigger for me. Belief, says Samson. Jessica, how we are socialized. Yeah, absolutely. So your family, your work culture, the overall culture can socialize us into that. Selma, feedback with attitude. Next month is all on feedback, the roundtable. This book is astounding, absolutely astounding. So I hope to see you all there. Jacqueline, not being given the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, if you feel like someone doesn't believe you, they don't trust you, they think that you've done them wrong, etc. Number out of fear of not being or doing good enough. Oh, great. Thanks for sharing. These are fabulous examples and very, very self-aware. Okay. Albert saying, when you are under competitive pressure to give results, mostly, yeah. So you don't have enough time. Maybe you don't have enough resources. That's our brain is tricking us into, I got to fight, freeze, flee, and the fixed mindset can come up there. Yeah. Okay. The next one, I think you're going to find quite funny. I'm like, oh, I love this one. It's really kind of fun. she suggests you give your fixed mindset persona a name. So when that fear of not being or doing good enough, when you're hungry, dehydrated, sleep deprived, disconnected, said Alana, when you're under the competitive pressure. So basically when you're triggered and that kind of monster comes out, what is that persona's name? So she suggests give that persona, that character, that monster, that not very good side of you a name. So some examples from the book is Dwayne, okay? And Dwayne is super critical, bossy, and demanding, okay? Another example is Gertrude, who is cagey, histrionic, self-aggrandizing. Henrietta, someone else's name for their persona, their fixed mindset persona was Henrietta, who is their critical grandmother. And, this one you can't see, sorry, change there. This person is this is so clever. One person named their persona Z or Z, depending on how you pronounce that letter, which is the mirror image of of this person's first name, which started with the letter S. Okay, there's some more comments here. Kirsten saying being confronted with a perceived even more fixed mindset, i.e. in a partner, perhaps that feeling that's feeling held back. Absolutely. Solen saying, if I feel like one of my failures is linked to injustice, okay, discrimination, oppressive structures, lack of opportunities for youth, etc. I struggle to think about growth and alternative strategies, but tend to focus more on how harmful this is and how much it hurts me, and I would spend more time on reconstructing self-esteem. Oh, no, let me just wrap this up. My goal is to read at least one professional development book a year, and then I summarize them in a couple of blog posts at the beginning of each year. And I'm just about finished this one. Solan, I don't know if you've heard of Trudy LeBron. I've heard her speak. And there's a quote in there about something about giving yourself grace as you're struggling to improve and live in the world as it is right now, which I thought was so clever, so clever. What a lovely, thank you for sharing that. Can I write? Yes, so her name, she's a fantastic speaker. Trudy, there's supposed to be an accent over the O, but yeah, Trudy LeBron. And it's called the Anti-Racist Business Book. I'm just about finished it. It's fabulous. Yeah, really, really good. Not necessarily great for UN folks, maybe, just because she's talking about more like smaller businesses. Well, no, actually, no, that's not true. Yeah, it could still work for UN. Yeah. Okay, so does anyone have an idea of what they could name their persona? You can share that in the chat if you wish, but that's her third step of the 4. Mr. Furley. Nice. Oh, that kicked me back to, oh gosh, what was his name? Terrible memory. In high school, I was really struggling. There was a lot of Mary saying Susan. Very, very difficult time in my life. And much to my horror, I broke down in English class. Mins, his name was Mr. Mins. And I was just really struggling. And I left the classroom and At the end of class, I came back very embarrassed to grab my books. And I still can't believe this man did this to this 15-year-old kid. He said, you better get a handle on your life. If you react like this, you are not going anywhere in life. It's like, whoo, that looking back on it now, that is a very fixed mindset, right? Okay. Oh, and Mary's saying no pun to any Susan. Yeah. And these will have meanings to you, and they don't need to have meanings to other people. Nicholas saying nasty mix. That's great. Fidelia saying, could you please advise on the books to be read and please permit me leave? Oh, yeah. So Fidelia, I'll put everything in the workbook and you just need to make sure you're a member of the roundtable, and all those things will come to you usually on Monday. I get them out by Monday. I know Laura, right? Laura's saying, oh my, I know, it's pretty bad. Okay. So you're welcome, Fidelia. I'll make a note here about putting that book in. When I look to the side, I have to write it down. It goes out of my head if I don't write it down. Okay, so the fourth step, so number one, embrace your fixed mindset. Number two, become aware of what triggers that mindset. Then name that persona. Name, oh, Mr. Bunyan. That's great, Marlon. That's so good. So give your mindset, your persona a name, which you are not having issues with at all. These are fantastic examples. And then the fourth step is to educate it. So take it on a journey with you. And she talks about things like knowing that your fixed mindset was born to protect you and keep you safe. It's not, your fixed mindset doesn't think that it's nasty, horrible, awful, terrible, no good. It thinks it's trying to protect you and keep you safe. But it has developed some very limited ways of doing that. So look at different ways that you can educate your persona, your fixed mindset, and take it on a journey with you. Okay, folks, so as we slide into our finishing up our time together, we have a few minutes left. May I move on to maintaining your growth mindset, and then we'll close. Is that okay? Just give me a thumbs up if you're good with that. So the last piece before closing is how to maintain your fixed mindset. Okay, great. Okay, so I'm not going to say a huge amount about this, but I love especially this first quote here, another typo there, which is, it's amazing, she says, Dr. Carol Dweck, once a problem improves, people often stop doing what caused the problem to improve in the first place, right? So meaning, it's not a one and done thing. It's a continual process. So I think she would say, take note, continue to be self-aware, pay attention at different times in your life, different chapters. It might be easier to have a growth mindset, or other times you might be, when you're under a lot of pressure, tons and tons of triggers are coming at you, not getting enough sleep, etc. It might be much easier to slip into that growth mindset. So keep using those strategies. And I like this. She says, mindset is not about picking up a few pointers here and there. It's about seeing things in a new way. And this is a picture I took of a bumper sticker here in Kenya, in Nairobi one day. Change how you see, not how you look. So my friends, my colleagues, I really want to give a big shout out to you for showing up, for doing this work. These are, I think, really, really important topics. They're not always very urgent, though. So you really carved out time to focus on you, to focus on learning about fixed and growth mindset. And that can only benefit you. It can only benefit you, your life, your work, your family, your organization, your team, etc. So kudos to you. As we slide into, I lost the word, concluding, I guess closing, I would love for you to think about what is something that you want to remember from today. So put this in the chat. What's something that you want to remember from today? And you did have that to-do sheet, so you may want to spend a couple minutes in quiet reflection after, because I really want you to, I love, love, love that you showed up. And my ultimate aim for you is to make a difference in your life and your work going forward, to actually apply some of these things. Oh, you're so welcome, Laura. I'm so glad that it resonated. Thank you. So think about what you want to remember. And here are some ways to take action. So share that survey with friends, with colleagues, educate them about it, discuss it, implement those 4 steps. And then I highly recommend, if you have the means, to buy the mindset book. So good, in my top 5 ever in terms of professional development. Someone saying, changing my mindset will mostly benefit me. Samson's saying, these are things that people remember, what a mindset is and how you change it from fixed to growth. Nice. Alana's saying, thank you. I think it's actually urgent. A foundational tool for change, and also cultivating our individual and collective resilience and love amidst these times. Thank you. Thanks, Alana. Laura says, awareness for when my fixed mindset is showing up and how to walk with it. Tilma saying, what's my number one? You know what? I don't know what, that's a good question, Tilman. I'll put my top books, I'll put those in the workbook so you can see. I've done it now for 5 years. I've summarized books I've read. So I'll put that in the workbook. Jane saying, thanks, Lee. Today's learning was new to me. I will definitely be buying the mindset book. Great. Okay, well, as we just about close here, I just want to ask you a quick question here. So I am experimenting. One of the books that sorry, just a second. One of the books I read last year talked about having a scientific mindset. I love that concept. So I am trying different experiments. So one of the experiments, I would love for you to answer this question. You should see this poll on your screen. So I'm experimenting with the length of the roundtable. So please let me know in the poll, how did you find the length of today? Historically, they've been 2 hours. I've had now twice we've done them an hour and a half. So was it too short and you would prefer to go back to 2 hours? Was 1.5 hours just right? Or what? So let me know there. And then as we go forward, please, if you found value, don't forget to become a member. I'll share that link again here, or you can scan that QR code. It's there. I'm just looking also at some of the, you're welcome, Namrata. Welcome, Tillman. Welcome, Esther. Thanks, Vera. It was your first. I hope you come back. I hope, knowing this was your first one. Great. So David, the book they're talking about is the Mindset book by Carol Dweck. I'll put this in the workbook, and again, the members get the workbook. So please, if you do want, and if you don't want to become a member, no problem. If you do want to get the resources, then that's how you get it. You sign up to become a member, get access to 10+ years, you get the audio recording, visual recording, etc. And then please make a mark on your calendar. April 27th is our next roundtable, and it's all about, this blew my mind. It's such a good book. All about giving and receiving feedback. So interesting. So in closing, I want to encourage you, please, to give me some feedback. And every month I look at that feedback, of course, and I pick one person to win free access to my course, Ban Boring Online Meetings. So this month it's Helen. So I will be letting her know. She got sick, so I know she wasn't coming today. Great. Someone DM'd me saying the change mindset is contagious. I love that. So please give me some feedback. The next topic is always in that feedback survey. So it's a chance for you to tell me what you want on that topic. If you are a UN staff member and you want to get credit for this workshop, then please sign the attendance sheet. I'll leave that link there. And mark your calendars for all the upcoming ones. Know that, I get this question a lot too, that the videos of the roundtable are time-stamped, meaning that once you have the link to the video, they're categorized by all the topics we talked about. So if you want to go to, okay, how do I maintain that mindset? You'll just be able to click and go exactly to that point in the video. And then finally, if you want further support around team building, tech tools and digital engagement, or training of trainers, please feel free to contact me. I would love to talk about working with you and your team. And you can get more information about that there too. So thanks, everyone. I'm so grateful for you showing up. Have a great rest of your morning, your afternoon, your evening, wherever you're at in the world. And I hope to see you next month. Thanks, everyone.